In this video, I'm rolling with Griffin. Griffin is a relatively new white belt with 2 months experience at the school. I didn't know who he was. I'm at open mat. This is a Wednesday open mat, which has been getting crowded lately, which is really cool. You can see all the usual suspects in the background. Vidine, Bruno, unchokable white belt. Mike Stern, I just made a video with him, a good purple belt. That was the one before this. Jonathan, looking for a partner. So here we go. He's 21 years old, 205 pounds, very strong. And I'm doing my usual thing. So funny, no matter where I set the camera up, we always end up on the outskirts. So there, as you could see, I was looking to pull an arm drag on him. And then he went forward into the triangle. So that's one of the setups from that position, right? If I'm doing an arm drag and he lets me extend his arm far enough and he has broken posture the way he does right now, it's very easy for me to slap the triangle on. Now, for a lot of blue belts out there, and even the new purple belts, you really want to practice your offense on white belts. I'm not saying you don't want to practice it on a black belt eventually, but just to see down that path, just to experiment with different positions. You should be offensively experimental when it comes to rolling with white belts. John Donahar said, he feels like he works his offense, or his guys work their offense on blue belts. And that would be just a little bit higher level. I mean, some blue belts you could do that as well. So there I was able to get the arm bar, but he didn't tap, and then I almost swept him, and he put his base back, and I let him go. I'm not looking to force anything ever. It just goes against my principle. If I can't catch it smoothly, what's the point? And I really think that's where the art comes in. So right there, I actually wrist locked him, which I know a lot of people are going to make fun of me, you're wrist locking a white belt, but I've been working on my wrist locks, and I wrist lock more than white belts. It just became part of my game. And then he was asking me how I did it, and I told him the basic principle behind wrist locking is making sure the elbow has nowhere to go so he can't pull away. And that principle is common in many positions. So here I'm behind his tricep, that's the other option, right? So if he extends the arm dragged arm, then I take the triangle. But if he pulls it back, I end up behind the tricep. And once my torso is behind the tricep, it's hard to come back. You can spin around and do other things, but as you can see, I just end up in mount. Again, not trying to force it, giving him a chance to knock me off. And then I just hit the Americana. Griffin's a super cool guy. And I look forward to making more videos with him because I could guarantee you within a couple of months, more months, he's going to be very formidable. Now, I don't know what his history is, but what can happen in my school is there's a white belt class. And in the beginning, the white belts only go to that class. I think that's all they're allowed to go to. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure. But what ends up happening is sometimes they wander into open mat unknowingly. So my point being, a white belt might not have a lot of experience. So there I went for the Aoki, and he spun around very athletically, but still in a manner that would free his foot. Obviously, I'm not going to rip it. And then from here, he's making space. I let him get his knee shield back in. But I'm kind of letting him know that there would be a footlock on that side if I wanted it. But again, I'm not going to squeeze it hard. I don't want to force it. So there again, I was able to get behind his tricep, go to his back, and now I'm in side control. Very transitional. But it's based on his movements. See, he did a big hip bump there and then a press off with his arms. I mean, that's what a normal person will probably do that with no training at all. So it's good to have, reactions to someone who is going to react in a way that's different than what you're used to. We want those random reactions. You want to be able to cope with those. Otherwise, you'll just be good at wrestling jiu-jitsu guys, maybe. So there I got an arm triangle choke. Sometimes white belts can tap a little quicker. Like he tapped very quickly there, like I didn't even apply anything yet. But he felt it coming, There's a line. You don't want to tap too early and you don't want to tap too late. And that line leads to injury. So there he just tried to throw my legs out of the way. And again, look where I am. Behind his tricep. Back in that arm bar. Now he's looking to step over to defend. Here I could have really pulled on it. But I don't want to risk hurting him. He's only been training a couple of months, and I wouldn't hurt anyone in that position. I wouldn't risk hurting anyone. As you can see, I'm going really easy on the hand fighting. See, when they break my posture, when I'm in closed guard and they try to pull me down, my hands go right to the biceps, if you notice. So here I got my posture back and I'm able to just wrist fight like it's a Wing Chun Kung Fu movie. But once they pull me forward, my hands will go to his biceps, and that'll prevent him from bringing his arms down to help his position. There, as you can see, I just went around the leg. I made an angle against his leg. It's like an underhook pass. And now I'm on his back. I had an arm trapped as well. Again, I'm not squeezing with my legs. I'm not trying to create an injury. See, as he shrimped away, which wasn't a bad idea of him to do, I was able to come up and take mount. But it was better than him just laying there doing nothing. So here, look, I have the Americana again. But I'm not going to rip it. See, I'm sitting on him here. I was in like a butterfly mount. See how my feet were in his crotchal region? So here I'm giving him every opportunity to get out. But as he slithers, I improve my position slightly. It's kind of like an anaconda. As the prey is slithering out, the anaconda is just slowly, incrementally improving its position. So there I was able to pull out the armbar. So I don't tell my partners, but like when the bell rings, that I say like, oh, just keep going. Like I just brush over it. I don't let them know going into it. So there I'm in the armbar position again. And I could have went to the, jumped up for an omoplata and stuff like that, but he had a good posture. And again, I felt like that would have been using too much effort. Here I swept him just by kicking his leg out. I could have came right up, but I didn't. I let him get up, and I've done that several times in the roll. So here I gift wrapped him, made space behind his back that allowed him to drop into that space. And now I'm in mount. He just happened to be on my foot there with his head, but my leg is very flexible on that side. My knee is super flexible. I shouldn't say super flexible, but it's flexible compared to most people. So there I put my hand quickly over his mouth, and I told him the onus is on him to get out. I'm not going to smother him with my hand, but realize if I could casually put my hand over your mouth, that means I could be punching. So that's what I explained to him just there. So when you feel yourself in that position, just turn it on a little bit. You got to get out of there. You can't just lay there and let somebody punch you in the face. And I'm not saying I never do that. I definitely can stay in bad positions, but it's for a different reason. And if I had to explode out because I was getting punched, I would. So here I have my right knee under his back. I have his arm trapped. My torso's behind his tricep again. If you notice, I love being there. He's hip bumping. I relinquished control there for like an underhook grip. And I wanted to do like a step over armbar, which he's defending. Again, much stronger than me. I mean, if I was to arm wrestle him, I would probably have no chance. As you can see, new people try to do unconventional ways of escaping. The way he turned onto his stomach, very bad for him. I could have came up and put my knee on his back. So there again, I finished with the wrist lock. Now, the last time I wrist locked him, I was going very slowly and incrementally, and his wrist went all the way to, his hand went to his wrist. It was incredible flexibility, and he told me he had it broken at one time, not in jiu-jitsu. And so I went really easy, and I went really easy again, and he didn't tap. So remember, I noticed, like, sometimes white belts, they don't like to tap. So I pull his arm out for the arm bar, and he doesn't tap. If I really thrust my hips into that, it's over. Catastrophic injury. Not to say that I ever would, but you can't trust. You shouldn't give your partner that type of trust. Once the hands are separated, tap. Once the wrist is getting pulled and your elbow has nowhere to go to relieve the pressure, tap. So here again, this is my game, right? I have my foot on his hip. I'm trying to pull his right arm across my body, and that's going to give me triangle, back. See, I'm trying to do it as casual as possible. I'm trying to do it with as little effort as possible. Also realize we're 13 minutes into this round. So that's the knee cut. Put all your weight, your knee, drive it to the mat next to his hip. Here I have him in a north-south choke. As you can see, I'm sinking. See that motion? I'm sinking. See, he was thinking about it. I'm not squeezing with my arm. I'm sinking with my body and rubbing my hips along the far side of his head. Or the near side. So thank you for watching. If you find value in my content, you want to help support the channel, I have an X-Marshall link in the description. Anything you buy from there, it's mostly no-gi stuff, is 20% off when you use code JITS over50. Right now, my rash guard, JITS over50 rash guard has a sale. So I think it's down to like 60, plus with the code, I'm not that good at math. Or you could just buy me a coffee. Either way, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a channel. So right here, he realized who I was. He didn't know. He didn't put 2 and 2 together. He didn't realize that I was Jits over 50. In the beginning, he asked me, "What belt do you?" I said, "Brown." He goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Don't worry, I'm not that good." But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe.